progress.
All right, welcome everybody to another TDC Today Show. The TDC is headquartered in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and was founded by Jace Doane over a decade ago. And they are all about people with disabilities and veterans, and have a educational part called Digital Ventures, which is teaching people about the media industry and helping find a position in the media industry. In 2025, the Invictus Games will be in Vancouver, Canada. So this is going to be exciting, but have a long time guest today, Marianne, who is a author, app developer, has puppets, so I'm a good interpreter. So I'm bringing, and she brought a friend Linda on. So I am going to bring Marianne. And who are you? What do you do? Say a little bit about who you are and the guest you have on today.
Well, aloha, Emily and Kurt. Thank you, Transforming Me, producing this Saturday show. And yes, I got introduced to everybody through the Happy Neighborhood projects during the pandemic lockdown. I was a co-host in Hawaii, and I became the sign language interpreter for the H&P Ability Group. And I had the honor in my journey, and I visited Hawaii, and I ended up staying. And I met a great deaf man named Scott, who I interpreted for over a decade and became great friends. And at the Unity Church of Hawaii, we met this beautiful woman, Linda Wyatt here, who is a Reiki instructor and who certified both of us and gave an attunement to Scott together while her and her brother were visiting in her journeys of being a flight attendant. What a cool job to travel the world and be of service and get to the journey and to share this healing gifts with everybody. So I'd like to introduce Linda Wyatt here. And she's a Reiki master teacher, gave us her certification. She's in Florida, and her healing is amazing. She can send distant Reiki, and wow, you can feel it. And thank you so much, Linda, for being here. So share us a little bit more about Reiki and healing bones and solfeggio frequencies, raising your vibrations. Tell us a little bit more.
Well, thank you, Marianne. It's delighted to be on the show today. I would like to first say that, again, how proud I am with you and how you have gone so far with what I taught you. You surpassed what I thought you would obtain. So you continue to amaze me. So thank you for that. Right now, I'm currently working with hospitals because they're recognizing Reiki now in the healing, not only for the physical, but also for the spiritual and mental health of patients. It used to be they didn't really worry too much about the mental state of patients. They're finding they're really missing out, that you really have to treat all three. It's not just pills and, have people come and go. So the natural way is definitely the way I go. I'm currently, I don't know if I should be saying, but being retired, I am older. I'm on no medication. And when I go to my doctors and they say, what? You're not on any meds? And I go, what for? I'm not sick. And then I do tell them about my natural medicine and my Reiki, and how I just try to keep my environment positive and keep negative people away from my environment. I try to always pass things forward too when things are done nice. I'll tell you one thing, my mailman, her name is Lori, and she came around this morning, her little truck, and I said, Lori, you like chocolates? And she goes, I love chocolate. Well, I just came back from the dollar store and quote, this little Reiki, not Reiki, I call them my Reiki mints, but they're real, the Reese's cups. You can get a whole sleeve of 5 for the $1.25 now. I gave her that, and she says, Linda, this is wonderful. And she put it in her little ice box, and she goes, that made my day. And I said, well, you know, every time I come back, and of course the human touch, even if it's long distance, that's what I hear from most of my elderly friends and patients. They're not being touched, and just that they say, Linda, how do you get so hot? And I go, it's not me, it's what I'm sending you. And they say, then they realize more what Reiki is, because they're trying to give me the credit for it. No, I'm just the vessel. It's not anything to do with my ego or with me. Strictly, I was trained that I'm giving myself over to others so that the energy can flow through me to other people. And so I find I get the Reiki from it also when I pass it on to others. So one thing I want to cover too, as far as the chakras and the colors and the music, this is something that when you go on the internet now, it's all out there. It did not used to be. It used to be in my day when I first studied, only the Buddhist priest and the Japanese, they kept all this hidden. It was only if you were part of their particular, I want to say, organization, were you allowed to know what the signs were, or the symbols, or the music. It was strictly amongst them. Now it's out there for the whole public. So when I greet and meet people, I say, go on the internet, download some Reiki music, just listen to it. And you won't believe the extra energy you'll have just from relaxing. It's only 10 minutes. You just have to rejuvenate your body and just exhale all that negativity out, and then allow room to absorb all the goodness that you listen to when you hear the music. So I also would like to say that I have people that come to me and I say, think of 3 things that you need to let go of. And they're saying, what do you mean, let go? And I say, well, even if it happened to you as a child, something you have to let go of. And sometimes they say, I'm not ready to. Then they realize that they've caused their own issue. And as a child, you remember it maybe differently than how it really was. Or it might be something you did to your husband or to your brother or sister. And here again, if you walk up to them and say, remember so-and-so, they'll say, it didn't happen that way. You know, I mean, so you have to clarify the event in your mind, because sometimes these people have passed on also that you need to forgive. It could be a parent especially. So, but if it's keeping you in neutral, that's no good. You need to let that go. So I help people do that, but only if they're ready to let it go. It might take 3 sessions before they actually say, I'm ready now. And I don't need to know what it is. Only they need to know what they're releasing. So, and that helps them also to do that. And sometimes they'll even choke because it's just too much to handle, you know. So I have to be careful too that they don't do it too quickly. Like 3 sessions is pretty normal. And normally afterwards, even 1 session, they'll say, Linda, I feel so much lighter. It's like you took a burden off my shoulders. And I said, that's the energy. And it will get better as time goes on. This energy stays with you. You mentally have to accept it. And so that's what I see up front is more and more people should know Reiki. And the more that know it, the better the world's going to be as far as I'm concerned. So that's how I'm trying to contribute back and pass it forward. So with you, Marianne, the people that you give Reiki too. What's the one experience you remember the first? Comes the first in your mind? Having trouble with the sound here.
Suzanne just being good here. One,
Yeah.
it was really being surrounded by Unity Church of Hawaii. Because when I first went to Hawaii too, I visited, I stayed, but I opened up this wellness magazine and I saw all these beautiful healers and I could just feel it, and beautiful lays and haikus. I'm like, I want to be there. Like, I just felt like I had to gravitate and be there. And so by meeting other healers and understanding it, because a lot of people don't understand it, don't choose it, don't believe in it. So you just kind of got, so same thing too. You're talking with different people. So anyway, until people experience it, and that, you have your private select group that does it. And that's kind of like that. It's kind of like you don't bring up religion and you don't bring up, well, I'm just saying we had some rules like politics and religion, at a sports event. You don't bring those stuff up. You don't bring up, okay? So, but us, and a majority of it is female based. So we're healers, so we get it. So that's just a mindset. But again, having that certificate, I, during the trans pack, was talking about it, and I just became a Reiki master, and the Commodore hired me to work on a sailboat of trans pack sailors, and actually I got paid for it. And then I met another captain that I actually got to sail around the Hawaiian Islands for 10 days, offering Reiki, little light massage, and I only had to pay $100 to go on this sail trip. So it's like, so I would have paid like thousands of dollars to go on a cruise ship, right? And I got to actually, and then we were sailing around Cabo and seeing the spinner dolphin. It was just magical over there, and to be in the ocean and the salt water, and like, wow, I'm really living this kind of journey, And then I met Scott over there, who was into it and knowing sign language. It gave me a sense of purpose again, and the creativity just like opened up doors. Like I had doors that I didn't open up, or I call them cabin doors, or you could say a flight attendant, or cabin doors on a sailboat. But it just really helped. So when I had vertigo or tinnitus, laying down, I would have to, because physically I couldn't move, or I couldn't, or I didn't know when the episode was gonna go. But I trained my mind, and then that creativity allowed me to sleep, to create these books, so to speak, and the characters. So I don't know, I would go to bed and I'd wake up and the story was right there in front of me. It was just amazing and magical. And I probably had this if I just didn't use it, or when the timing's right, it's there and everything. So, and I watched Andrea Kennedy. She's in Southfield, Michigan. She has ones for sinuses within 10 minutes. It's gone. I mean, tinnitus, it's just amazing. So frequencies, it's amazing. And one of my neighbors, she got her husband listening to it. And I tell people too, I go, if people are skeptical, don't tell them. Just pay music. And this was other thing that happened too. So when we were in lockdown, I was playing the money frequency, and people had got laid off, okay, or businesses, and we had to get off the sailboat, and I was staying with some friends. We had to get into an apartment, and she had lost some jobs. Well, guess what? I started playing the money music, and then guess what? Some boat owners called her for some boat cleanings. My friend Carolina, I stayed with her, and I was playing the music, raining money, and guess what? She had gotten some costumes during the Christmas season, and she got a $200 tip. So
Wow.
so the money thing, so I was playing this money thing and going, and guess what? I got a contract today for a book signing in Europe Books. Now I did put the work in to submit it, but I was continually playing this music. Abundance of money's coming your way. And it can be anything. And it can be anything. Guess what? Some tenants left, and guess what? They knocked on my door and gave me $50 worth of groceries, laundry detergent. That's abundance. So it's not necessarily the physical, tangible money, but it's abundance. Just like being on this show, this is a great opportunity for us to promote our businesses through happy neighborhood projects, share our gifts, and so yeah, I'm gonna have to plug in this laptop here. But yeah, it's great healing work and creativity. And again, I've incorporated into the books. I have some Reiki characters, Reiki Master Frogs, Cora the Aura Reader. So do you know that much about aura reading, Linda, and the chakras? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I haven't gone into that particular category because I've been so busy with the other. It just seems that the hospitals, they talk more about the older people that just some bitter, that they've been forgotten, or, they don't understand why they're feeling so bad. And so I try to release that for them as much as I can. And I try to be on the level that they can understand. Sometimes if you go into things they're not accustomed to, they might think that you are not relating to them. They want to talk about their issues, and I'm there to listen, and help them through it. But chakras, I'll see their auras, and sometimes I don't like what I see, so I just kind of stay away from that for right now. Later on, I think I'll probably venture into more like that, but I'm just so busy with the other that, and of course, it's who walks into your life too. Next week, somebody might walk in that's all they want to talk about, So it's what exposure you have for that particular time. We all have different stages in our lives.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We let go, and so we can attract the new, or or accept the new, and so awesome. So Emily, tell us a little bit what your thoughts about all this Reiki healing and gifts.
I think it's pretty cool. sounds like it's I mean, sure, it's helped people like you, Marianne.
Well,
Have you had a session with Reiki?
Not really, no. But I've heard of it though.
Okay, so when you're ready, I think you would be very receptive to it, and I think you would enjoy it. Normally, there's 30 minutes to an hour. Sometimes it can be with a big circle group, so you're not singled out, or it can be private, one-on-one. So, and sometimes you can just listen to the music and relax. You don't even have to be with another person. But normally, it's shared.
Yeah. Well, there's also Reiki videos too, where you can see the hands doing this, and it's saying you.
That's not the last 10 years. That's pretty new, which is great. But the Reiki circle used to be at the Unity, where they walk behind you, all the qualified practitioners, and you wouldn't know who is behind you. And then they would move on to the next person. You might have 5 or 6 people lay hands on you that night. but you walk away just feeling so good, and you don't really even talk during the sessions. You just sit and listen, just meditate.
Yeah, and it's powerful, and you sleep really, really good.
Yes.
And you can feel lighter. Or yeah, and there's times too when I was on the bus in Honolulu riding with Scott, and all of a sudden I'd have this tingling sensation. And
Yes.
I feel really good, and I go, someone just sent me Reiki because I'm feeling really, really good.
Well, I know when an ambulance goes by here, I'll put up my hand sending Reiki, and it vibrates off my hand. If it was a false alarm or if they're really in bad shape, I can sense it from the vibration from my hands. And a lot of times I'll say, "Oh, it's a fake alarm," but they're fine, you know. And that's what I want to feel. I don't want to feel a horrible sensation. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was amazing. Again, with Scott, who wears hearing aids, and to sign for him and for his hidden gifts and talents as a healer. He's a caregiver. He's also working with patients with dementia.
Oh, good.
Children with autism. So he still has that gift, and he's been so amazing to help me guide to write these animal characters and their purpose and their mission and the real meaning. So he dives real into deep into it. So I love working with him. I miss him, and I know he went on his journey. He became a veterinary assistant, and some of the projects when it started, and it was all through guided meditation. I mean, I asked what my next purpose was, and don't ask, because you will receive, and you go, what do I do with it now? And,
well, I can see that area, because you can do Reiki on animals as well, and like my two little kittens, they get Reiki a lot from me, and it's so funny how they'll come to me and they'll cry because every day they want me to hold them. They want me just to be next to them. I mean, it's like I have to have that session with them once a day, or they get almost very mad. They want that connection.
Well, I thought I read something too about cats help with healing bones, because when they lay on you, they're actually, when they're purring, they're actually healing your bones. There's something else out there too that I remember what.
I would do it, and I've been so sure, but right now, busy with my retirement, I manage all properties, and so as I was doing it today, I was putting up new screening form that blew out some of the screening. I've just been so busy doing websites.
Well, good. Well, you stay. And we just had our storm come down in San Carlo, and healing prayers, especially Maui. And you can visit my new website. It's actsofkindnessseries.com.
Yes.
Again, all classroom teachers in the United States of America can go on Donors Choose. It just takes 10 minutes with a teacher. You can request the books, the coloring books, and you can hear the stories of all these Reiki characters also too, and the healings. So again, thank you for having here on the Saturday, and we'll be rolling over to the Disability channel, and we'll be having Leah McLaughlin from Clean Water Foundation bringing filters to worldwide schools and his events. So again, thank you for having us, for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
thank you, everybody, and Special thanks to Marcus Hart and Lawrence Wingate and Zach Clayton for replaying the show on their forums. And until next time, we are here every Saturday at 1 o'clock and 1:30 p.m. So if you are interested in being on a show, until next week, have a safe and week.